Hey guys, Anime Core 85 here, and I pretty much am pretty much going back on what I said when it comes to leaving YouTube for a kick. However, I've decided that I am not going to do that. Instead, I will be streaming more. So, in case you guys haven't noticed, or maybe you have, I have been streaming over not just Kick, but also on YouTube. So, you are going to be seeing a lot more streaming and less videos. Why? Because streaming is cool, and plus, streaming takes less time, and I don't need to worry about doing the editing portion because editing portion is time consuming. Anyways, but that's not the point of this video. So before I forget, if you actually liked everything I saw here, be sure to click the like button, the subscribe button, and you guys can join my streams either here on YouTube or on Kick. So that's your choice. And you can also follow me over on Discord, Instagram, um, Kick, YouTube. I think there's one more. But yeah, those 4/5, you can join me over on there and everything else in between. So, getting on to the main topic for this video, I decided I wanted to talk about the whole thing when it comes to gaming and AAA gaming and such. Why? Because I think it's important to highlight what's going on within the gaming sphere. So, as you know, Stellarblade recently launched, right? And a lot of gamers are really pissed off. They're pissed off at Shift Up, they're pissed off at Sony. Why? Because, well, the CEO for Shift Up promised that the game would be uncensored. However, you can still play it uncensored if you have the physical disc, if you have the physical version. If not, well, you're FUCK, okay? Or FUCKED. If you want to know how it's spelled, if you want to know what that word is, you can figure out for yourselves. But getting back to the whole situation. So, since Stellarblade has been censored and everything, and since gamers are pissed off, what are gamers doing? Well, they've decided that they've had enough of their shit being censored, so they're going back down the path to playing old games from the past. Because back then, between the 19 something, or since the Amiga and the Genesis, and then 64, the NES, the SNES, the PS2, PS3, 360, all those generations, gamers are going back to those. Hell, even gamers are even turning their backs on console and going PC. And really, what's setting that apart is because at least on PC you can mod games. There's the thing. Unlike how you can on PlayStation console, you can actually mod within PC because there's thousands of mod you can use. You can even turn a friend to help you find mods, or find the best website for mods because mods are cool and you can do many things. You can even uncensor it. Now there's one actually mod website. I forget what it is. I know the image, but I just can't remember the name of it. But on that website, apparently they do not like uncensored mods for some odd reason. And I know it's full with a lot of cronies and jackasses and all that because obviously they can't handle seeing boobs on screen. However, when it comes to games like Baldur's Gate 3, they're okay with it. They're okay with seeing some gayness in it. Why? Because they're all hypocrites. And truth be told, yeah, no. I'm not okay with that. I like my games being I like my games being, well, having fan service. And I think it's great to have games being uncensored because no one really likes being censored, okay? Literally. And this whole quote unquote modern audience does not exist. Okay? It does not exist anywhere. It's like that one lost page where basically it's in if you guys ever seen Kingdom Hearts back cover, key back cover, there is a point in time where like there's a lost page. It's not in any of the books and it's missing. And how that's relevant is because due to the fact is that a lot of gamers are just so fed up with censorship. And modern audience does not exist. There's no such thing as modern audience. That does not exist. And the reason like why a lot of AAA companies are kind of doing this is to chase this whole DI ESG money. And ESG is economic, social, something, something, okay? And really what it is it's really just, getting brownie points for every time you censor a freaking video game. Every time you censor a game. And how it gets censored is that AAA companies they hire these quote unquote consulting companies, whether that's like Sweet Baby Yank or Black Girl Gamers or whatever, that it's basically like controlling the narrative, controlling like developers and saying, hey, you cannot allow this. This is not allowed in games. This is wrong. It's like, but the one question I feel like someone needs to sit down with these quote unquote journalists and consulting groups and say, hey, you are a female, right? Yes, but how's that relevant? Uh, so if you're a woman and you have boobs, what's the problem? Why can't gamers just enjoy playing a game with boobs? I don't understand that. And then of course they make the shocking Pikachu face. I'm like, wait, what? Yes, anywhere you go, all around you, there's boobs everywhere. There's boobs galore everywhere you walk around in. Even though, yes, you can't show boobs like in person or even on work because, well, one is it's not okay to be showing it in front of children and such. But the thing is that there's this whole entire thing when it comes to human growth. Once a human becomes, once he turns, I don't know, like high school age, between the ages of 16 to 18 and above, that's when, they start thinking more about the female body and having sex. And honestly, this whole dilemma thing when it comes to censorship needs to go. Okay? It's not needed, and no one, and I say this with all certainty. No one really cares for censorship. Everybody likes games being uncensored, okay? Now, if you don't like games showing cleavage and nudity, that's fine. Go somewhere else and play games that you would want to play. But don't just come crawling over to playing to a game that is made for people who love fan service and boobs and such. I mean, I like boobs, but if you don't like them, that's fine. You don't have to like the same games I like. You don't have to. Everybody likes everybody has different tastes. Everybody has different different things that they like. Okay? I prefer heavy metal. Other people would prefer pop or hip hop or rap or anything of that nature. I honestly don't care. Why do I care? I really don't. So, in a sense, I really, really feel that I really do feel that these journalists need to get out of their fucking goddamn minds and come to understanding something, okay? When it comes to video games are for everyone. It's fun. And you know what? It should be accepted by society, okay? Yes, video games are expensive. We all know that. We're not dumb. We're not stupid. We all know that, okay? We all know that video games are not really cheap, okay? It's expensive, Owning a console is expensive. Buying games is expensive. Everything in this world is expensive, okay? We're living in a current society where everything is like literally like over the top expensive. Nobody not many people can afford certain things. Okay, unless of course you somehow you have a job that actually pays well and or actually pays you decently, and your work is, I don't know, your work is appreciated. There we go. The word appreciated. My God. And there are a lot of indie studios and a lot of AA studios that are coming out. I mean, if you look at how successful Power World is, that game in itself, in entirely, is amazing because it's awesome, because it's cool and it's enjoyable, and there's a lot you can do in it. Um, but yeah, overall, like when it comes to gaming, like AAA gaming is dying. Like honestly, I mean, what has Microsoft released in the past months in terms of exclusives? Not really much. They don't have much going for them. They really don't. Okay, and honestly, it's a lot of people are now turning their attentions to Sony or going PC. And let's just be honest, Sony is not really any better because they're censoring games. And actually recently a lot of due to Stellarblade, due to the censorship for Stellarblade, a lot of people have just decided to unsubscribe from PlayStation Plus. I stopped playing PlayStation like a long time ago, literally. I can't even remember like the last time I actually touched a better PlayStation game, and I still have a PlayStation 4, so I could play all of my PlayStation 4 games back from from years ago. I mean, I can play Jack and Dexter. I could play pretty much anything. I even have a refurbished PS2, so I could actually essentially play old game titles. And there were some really great games back in the day. And yeah, overall, what I would highly suggest you guys do is just stop supporting these AAA companies because just let AAA gaming die. No one cares for these guys. And if there's anyone that you come across, have a short interview with them and ask them this. So let me understand. So you're a journalist, right? Yes. And you're a woman, right? Or are you a man? Yes, I am a woman. All right. Here's the next question. So you don't like games showing female cleavage, is that correct? Yeah, that's right. Well, what about you though? You have boobs, right? Would you want to show people your boobs? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I no, that's wrong, and it's wrong to show. So okay, so let me understand this. So you don't like showing your boobs around. So if let's say you found instead of being a journalist and you decide to become a stripper or something. So so you wouldn't want to go into that at all, showing your boobs to get money. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, okay, and it's wrong. But here's the thing about men. Men love looking at boobs, and sure, some men don't, but that's not that's not wrong. I mean, and most of the time, when gamers are playing a video game, they're mostly playing because of the story. They're not playing a game just because there's a big massive tits on the screen. That's not really the whole thing. People are playing it because of the plot, because of the story, because of the gameplay. Games need to be, in order for you to make money, right? Because if you are a small studio and you're trying to make money, right? Gamers do not want to play a game that is basically gamers don't want to play games that are really undercooked, have major glitches and shit, they aren't interested in that. Gamers are more interested in playing games that have a lot more fun, enjoyable, that they're just fun overall, and actually are creative, and developers have full right to show games that have exclusivity, and obviously telling developers to censor games is just wrong in so many ways. Games are developers have all freedom and the rights to create whatever it is they want to create. So, let's say suppose I myself right now I'm a content creator. I'm also now officially a live streamer because I stream here on Kick and YouTube. But let's say suppose that one day I decide to become a developer, right? I've already mastered all these courses. All these skills. I found myself a cool, awesome job, and I'm a developer. And maybe like I'm a freelance developer. I work for for many clients. I create games for them and such. What would you say? Okay, so I need to have a consultant person tell me what I need to create. No, I'm the creator. It's my job of what I want to create, and it's also important that I make the game perfect. Looks nice. Has good quality gameplay. The effects look amazing, and the overall visual quality is amazing. The gameplay is perfect. And yes, I know a lot of people aren't really interested in the art aspect. I personally, since I think more of a creative, I always look at the art aspects of everything. So let's say, for example, right now I'm looking at this hill in Skyrim, right? I'm playing Skyrim. Okay, what's my overall take on this? It's amazing, and I take a look at everything. I take notice of the rocks, the trees, the hills, the enemies, the people, the characters, everything. It's like when you're cooking something, right? Let's say you have a family, right? And you're making a dish. Um, should you take the meal out early and then just start serving to people? No, because you know that the people that you're serving your dish to would be displeased with it. They would say, "Man, what is up with this? What is up with this thing I'm eating? It tastes disgusting." And yeah, so let's say you're making scrambled eggs, right? And you all of a sudden instead of making it fully well cooked and such, you decide that basically you decide to have it undercooked and you serve it to people. It's more likely that they're gonna actually suffer from food poisoning, because that is a real thing. So if you take that analogy and you put it and you actually and if you use this like in a gaming aspect, so if you release a game early, gamers are not gonna be pleased. They're gonna be pissed. If you make a promise to someone, okay, you have to promise to give that person or the amount of people that you have to keep that promise. You cannot go back on your promise, because that promise that you made and you decide to just betray whoever, that's all on you. And there are consequences to everything in this world. Okay? Censorship, if you make a promise to release an uncensored game and then you decide the last moment, okay, I'm going to go ahead and censor it. No. You literally stabbed your audience in the back and now they're pissed. You AAA studios have done absolutely nothing but literally have literally shunned gamers, listening to these woke activists who know absolutely nothing, don't even play games, and all they do is rant online and make terrible gaslighting excuses to say why the game why the game is horrible. And let's say the same thing happened to you. Would you be proud that something that you like just got censored? No, you'd be pissed. And that's why a lot of gamers are turning their backs and going the route of playing old games, because old games like Jak and Daxter, Super Smash, Star Fox 64, Paper Mario, Sonic Adventures Director's Cut, those games are what makes games replayable, have so much fun and so much replayability. And there are more games that I can count. There are like 8 to 20 billion games out in the world. Not only just on console, but also on PC, that some you can also download, and some you can actually just easily just play directly through a website. Literally. You don't actually have to download and buy a game. You can also just play them online. Okay, there are some games that are free, and there are ones that are not free. And it's up to you to decide about the type of games that you want to play, but you cannot in the life should support any of these AAA companies. You need to hold them accountable. Vote with your wallet. Give AAA the middle finger and say, you know what, if you screw us up, we're going to not support you. And that's exactly what gamers are doing now. Now, if Shift Up were to change their whole entire narrative and release the game for PC, well, then that clearly fixes things. And and they reverse back and they release it uncensored on PC, but still censored on PlayStation. Well, then gamers are gonna some gamers will go ahead and turn their attention to buying the PC version, because the PC version stayed uncensored. There you go. I don't need to say no more or less. I mean, yeah, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door just got censored, but that's not too much big of a deal. I mean, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door has always been a game that is really just a game about Mario rescuing Peach from either the clutches of Bowser or the clutches of that one beast who possesses Peach in Thousand Year Door. And that's it. So I don't really see it very much being a big deal, but in most games, it's a big deal. Sweet Baby Inc., Black Girl Gamers, and whatever fucking goddamn gaming consulting group comes across and decides to take over, they're nothing but a whole bunch of moronic morons who just want things destroyed to fit their narrative. That's all they want. Don't give them that. And these companies should learn their lesson. Okay? If you see one game, if you look at the amount of if you look at the games themselves, and you look at the ratings, and you see the amount of users that are playing that game, if it's lower than whatever the amount that if it's lower than maybe there's only 500 players playing it, when really usually most games have at least over 65,000 players, that basically is a bad sign. And that means that one is you should reverse course immediately. You shouldn't just double down and make more games censored. You should not do that. It's wrong. Very wrong. Hades 2 could look amazing if game devs had not fucking did all this and not had completely screwed up of what the original Hades was. I enjoyed playing the first Hades. I loved playing it. It was a fun game. It was really fun. I mean, hell, if you take a game like Vampire Survivors, that game is really cheap to make. And when it comes to making games, you don't need 1,000 people to make a game. You really just need about roughly between 1 to 4 to 5 people. That's really it. You just need a programmer, you need a developer, you need a a writer, you need a game artist, and yeah, and then all you gotta do is just come up with a good story and a good plot, and there you go. And then you just gotta put it together. And you really don't need to hire like many like fucking writers. That is stupid. You don't need a DEI gaming consultant person to create a game for you. You don't need that. Okay, you really do not. The only thing you just need is 5 people. And you know what? AAA gaming, I mean, and indie games studios are doing just that. Unreal Engine is a really cool, awesome software because due to the fact is that it's a well made, it's a well, cool, awesome 3D software that you can make. I mean, you can use it. I mean, it's for multiple uses. It's not just for making games, but companies like film virtual production companies use it all the time. You know, so instead of like taking instead of like traveling, you can actually use an actual place. Uh, you can use like a real cool, awesome um, place from another city, and you can actually just use that as a background. And yes, I don't have like quite a familiarity when it comes to virtual production, but that's just the basis of what I know. There's a lot of things that you can do within Unreal Engine 5. There's a lot. And due to the fact is that I think it's now I think like 5.4 for Unreal, which means you can just implement AI, and you have this cool thing with blueprints where it's just basically you use each node um, to create to make objects move and such and others. So that's really like all you really you can just create something without the needing of a lot of people. And yes, some games like to make a really yes, I know some games are it can take years to make. Making one game is not an easy task. There's a lot that goes into it, and I mean like such as the build, the I mean there there's a lot going into it. But yes, that's what I have to say for this video. Please leave comments in the comment section down below, and feel free to share your whole entire thing. Yeah, feel free to share your thoughts and opinions. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. But other than that, yeah, just play old games. Just I would highly recommend people to just start playing old games. Skyrim, Star Fox 64, uh, maybe Oblivion or Dragon Age Inquisition. Oh, Dragon Age Inquisition is kind of a mixed bag. I mean, I like it. I know other people don't because of the whole software from EA, which back when EA was actually good and they actually like made actual games that were not filled with a whole bunch of microtransactions. Because that's one thing that what gamers really don't really care much for are microtransactions, and they just want solid games. I would rather play a game that actually has a lot of replay value, and I don't have to pay for any extra stuff for the content. Just give me a full entire game where I can just play a game fully, and if I want to buy like buy some extra armor and such, just make a shop within the game where you can just go and buy with actual in-game currency, because in-game currency is much better than using real world money, because real world money should not be spent on DLC stuff. I think DLC should just be built into the actual game for free, not make people we have some extra DLC coming out. Due to the fact is since you played the full entire game now, we're now releasing some extra content. Here, you have to pay us. No, why don't you actually put that into the actual game? when you release it fully. That way, it's actually easier, and plus, people don't have to worry about paying extra on top of the $70. Because if you add $70 for the actual game, and then you add another extra 10 to 12 bucks for DLC, guess what? You're paying extra. You're not paying just the solid $70. You're paying above that. You're paying 80 to 90 to 100 bucks. I would rather pay like 30 to 40 bucks. That's how much I would pay. Any gamer would actually want to pay that, because that's a much more better deal than paying 70. 70 is a lot of money. That's not it's not cheap change. It's a lot of money in terms of gaming. And yeah, $70 could be used for something else. Like if you want to buy, like, I don't know, like let's say there's a special certain item that actually has a better value. There are some things in this world that actually have a much more better value at 70 bucks. Well, there literally is. Like if you want to buy like a really cool awesome action figure that's made of top tier quality and you sell it for 70 bucks, that's a good deal. But do not pay $70 for a video game. That's basically overkill. I'm sorry. Yes, and I'm guilty of spending $70 for a game. I'm guilty of it, but at the same time, I now know not to do that. There are consequences to everything, including when it comes to making video games. But yes, again, as I said before, leave comments and such in the comment section down below, and subscribe if you love everything you saw here and want to see more content. I'm mostly streaming now, so I'll be streaming over here on YouTube and Kick. So feel free to help me build a nice fan base over here on YouTube and Kick, considering I now know how to stream perfectly. Considering the last several times I tried streaming, it was horrible, but now that I've got a lot more better at streaming and everything, yeah, feel free to follow me over on there, over on Kick. I currently have 109 followers. I thought I had 110, but I think one of them was a bot, so that's out of the way. But yes, I have 109 followers. I'm still needing some subscribers, so if you want to become a subscriber to me on Kick, feel free to do that, as well as becoming a follower. All right? Till then, this is AnimeCore5, and I do appreciate you guys watching everything that I had said in this video. I know it was a little bit long than I wanted to, but there was a lot of stuff I had to say. All right? With that, this is AnimeCore5. Again, I'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.